Brewster, take a note. Memo to my lawyer, get this bump on the floor fixed, okay? I don't like the way that turned out, but we'll go with it. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural edition of Planet Valenti TV, pvtv.com. And, you probably think it's easy being here in front of these McDonald's French fry lights, having to fill an hour of live television. Well, it isn't. Thank you, and good night. Brewster, go on and give me some pipette Kodachrome real quick. Anyways, I have not converted to Islam, for one thing. The hat is just here to establish a different look for this show. I'm all in black, feel like Johnny Cash, but we want this show to look different and be different. And you only get to do the first show one time. And that's tonight. We're going to be taking your phone calls, by the way, when we get going. And you're going to be our guest on this show. We'll center the show around you and around your phone calls. And it's your chance, really, to engage in some dialogue, discussion, debate with me. I'm Dan Valenti, and this is Planet Valenti Television, PVTV. And we hope to have some fun. We want to make it fun for you. And certainly I told the crew and everyone else in here before we got going that if it's fun for the rest of us, that's going to come through, I think, over the television out there to you. And we want you to participate. Unlike others in this city, particularly in government, they don't want you to have a say. See, they don't want you to speak up. I noticed that when the mayor does this TV show, he doesn't take phone calls. That's what I'm told. I've never seen the show. We're taking your phone calls because we're not afraid of you. You are we the people. That's who we write for on planetvalenti.com. Mary Jane and Joe Kapansky, the proverbial little guy. And we aim to give you another voice via television. And our plan is to be here, and this will all depend on schedules. I have a few other things going on, and I'm sure that our crew is busy as well. But we hope to be here every Thursday night from 7 to 8. We will not be doing a Memorial Day show on Thursday. But other than that, unless you're told otherwise, and until we have to, I guess, bow to the onrushing calendars and busy schedules, count on us being here. So we'll give the phone number again, 445-4234, 445-4234. And I said that we will take phone calls, unlike the mayor. And there's been a lot of talk in and around the city after we let word out that the mayor would be a guest on this show, and people couldn't believe it because they said, well, I thought he stopped talking to you, Dan. I thought he was not answering your phone calls, true, not responding to our emails, true, not responding to personal messages on email, and not responding to personal messages on Facebook. Gee, you'd think maybe he's afraid to talk to us. Well, we've got him here tonight, and he's going to be joining us a little bit later in the show. And it's funny, I received several emails today, a bunch of them, saying, don't let the mayor filibuster. And don't let him do what he did on the radio the other day, where someone wound up the little key in the back, and he was just let on to babble on and not really answer too many questions, except for one. And the Planet, by the way, was the first one who told you that Mayor Bianchi was working another job besides City Hall. Now, if you go back to his inauguration, you'll remember that it was the day after he took the oath, or maybe 2 days after, I forget, and he pledged to be a full-time mayor. I will work for you, the people. I'm the hired help here. You're the boss. And sure enough, he got into office, and my spies on the secret squadron, actually started to give me phone calls, and we got a call coming in we'll get to in a second. But I started to get these tips that the mayor was leaving his office regularly, and he was spotted going across the street. And again, I've never seen him do this. We're just going on hearsay, but a lot of evidence came in that he was actually apparently on the taxpayer's dime going across the street to 100 North Street, where we used to broadcast the Dan Valenti show out of WBRK Studios. That's where he works for Global Montello before he became mayor. And he admitted on the radio the other day that he works part-time on his own time, so he says, at that job. So we were correct. We tried to get him to comment on this, and he ignored it. See, he thinks ignoring us is going to make it go away. What he doesn't realize is that we have a vast network of spies, gumshoes, and people who are not too happy with the way things are going and aren't shy about letting us know anonymously. Let's take our first phone call here, and it's like hitting the first home run in New York Mets history in 1962 by Rod Keneal, I think. So you're on the air with the Planet. Hello. Yellow. Yellow, yellow. Okay, I guess maybe that was the mayor calling in because no one was there. 445-4234 is the number. And you know, there's a lot of things to talk about here in the city, including the purported pay hike that was proposed by the mayor. It's interesting how they do these things. You know, he put in this pay hike. I'm over here now. And it was on the city council agenda for the April 22nd meeting, okay? And keep the, we'll take this off, by the way, because change up the look a little bit. We got a call coming in, but he had it on the agenda for April 22nd, which was a Tuesday, the council meeting, and he put it on the previous Thursday. All right, no problem there, except that the day after was Good Friday. All city offices, everything shut down, as it should be in honor of Good Friday. The weekend, of course, is Easter Saturday and Easter Sunday. And guess what? This is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And that meant that the following Monday was Patriots' Day. Patriots' Day. City offices were closed, and we gave state employees a day of furlough. I figured out on the Planet, we posted some ungodly amount it costs to give those folks a day off at taxpayers' expense in the tens of millions. Anyways, my point is that it goes on the agenda late Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. No one can get to it. Tuesday is the day that this is introduced. So there's not much time for deliberation or discussion here, and that's how they try to sneak things through. The Ordinance and Rules Committee took up the pay hike measure Monday of this week, and it caused a lot of interest, and I will say outrage, because folks are hurting right now in this town. You see the boarded up stores, the empty storefronts, homes for sale, tax base is shrinking. Not a whole lot of new industry coming in. We've created a recreation and resort industry with low-paying jobs, so you get the point. It's not the time to introduce a pay hike, and it was introduced worse than Obamacare. We got a phone call coming in, and let's go to that right now. Good morning, you're on with The Planet. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Okay. I'm good. You got to get your information right. First off, it's not morning, it's evening, okay? And if that information is anything like the 95% of information that you give out, none of us are surprised.
Thank you very much.
You're
gone. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. We are keeping you on a short leash if you want to come up and harangue us. All right? That's not going to happen. And 95% of the information that we give on the planet is absolutely correct. And it's factual. And as a matter of fact, ma'am, the problem you have is that it's mostly the truth. Now, I'll grant this point. It's the truth as we see it. All right? And that's the great thing about this country. We don't believe in the divine right of kings. And we don't think that truth comes to us from on high. You know, democracy is messy. And we see this with every public issue of import. And the Founding Fathers thought that if we, the people, had a chance to discuss and deliberate over the issues, we could achieve a consensus and that the truth would win out. Now, I'll be the first one to say that it hasn't quite worked out the way the Founding Fathers wanted, especially the higher up you go in government. Federally, you have no chance. Try calling up your congressman and getting in ahead of the lobbyists that are just showering him or her with money. Can't do it. Statewide, also difficult. But at least locally, citywide, people should have a voice and discuss. That's what we try to do on the planet. Okay? Now, a call like that obviously is not going to go on and advance the discussion. And I did talk radio for 14 years in Pittsfield, and I can tell probably in the first 10 seconds. So don't let that scare you off of calling us up here on the show. But I'm capable of filibustering, I'll tell you right now, and I'm glad to do it. If worse comes to worse, I will start doing my bird calls. And you don't want that. I might even be forced to pull out my favorite poet, Thomas Stearns Eliot. I think we've got a call coming in. T.S. Eliot, my favorite poet, born in America. He was not British. He was born in St. Louis. And you can see the book right there. And we read through some of these poems. There's one in here called The Hollow Men that if you force me to, I'll start reading, I promise. And you would think that T.S. Eliot was living in Pittsfield right now if you read that poem. And do we have a call? Yes, let's go to the phones here, and we welcome you on the show. Good evening, you're with The Planet. Hi.
Hi, Mr. Valenti.
Well, hello there.
Well, hello. I just want to know, this is supposed to be a talk show, right?
I used to do a talk show in Pittsfield, yes.
Yes, well, why did you shut that lady off? You're supposed to be talking and get a conversation going with the people.
Well, that's what I'm doing with you right now.
Well, that's what you're doing, but the minute I want to say what I'm going to say, you're going to shut me off like you did that lady.
Well, we'll see. We'll let you say it.
All right. Well, I think your information, I think you're just an old troublemaker. That's what you are. We got a good mayor. He doesn't work outside the city hall. I go there every day.
I'm glad you're in love with the mayor, because we're going to have the mayor on the show probably in about
I
15,
read your
20
email
minutes.
or your whatever you call your blog, and you've been saying that he was going to be on there.
Yes.
Well, I was in his office, and I know that he's at a mayor's meeting. And by the Jesus, you shouldn't be lying to the people. And you know what?
Yes.
Don't laugh at me, because you and I were Austin Riggs together. They'll give you another cocktail drink. And
I'm
you won't
sorry,
be so
ma'am.
crazy,
I'm not
goddammit.
laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Thank you very much for your call, but I assure you that the mayor is going to be here tonight. And we wouldn't say that if it was not true. Now, part of what we do in the press is to act as the watchdog of government. That's how it used to be. That's how it used to be in Pittsfield when there was a newspaper called the Berkshire Eagle. We should say that it's like Prince, you know? It's like Prince. We'll go over to this camera. Right? Guess not. The man who was formerly called Prince, or used to be known as Prince, this was a paper that used to be known as the Berkshire Eagle. And you know the story. They were sold to a newspaper chain in 1995. Media News Group, operated out of Denver and owned by a man who had a rapacious, look it up, R-A-P, rapacious reputation for coming in, buying newspapers at a fire sale price, and basically extracting money out of them, just wringing them dry, just like that. And that's what happened with the Eagle. Came in 1995, and you've seen that paper get thinner and thinner. It's almost anorexic at this point, or maybe bulimic, I'm not sure of the difference. And today, it's a shell of its former shell. We can put it that way. It doesn't serve as the watchdog. It basically serves as the house organ for the city and what we call the suits, the special interests, against we the people. And if you want proof of that, just go back and look at the many stories we have broken on the planet, www.planetvalenti.com, that we have broken on that website prior to the Eagle. We're just one guy with some connections. And can we put up the secret squadron? You know, we talk about our spies and our gumshoes, and this is a classified photograph that we had to go through all sorts of permission to get, but these are the officers of the secret squadron. These are our Z agents. I know, it's unbelievable. And they are sworn to pursue truth. A jobs creation enterprise. And you know, these public-private partnerships always end up bad for the public side of it. And they end up great for the private side of it. I think we have open lines right now, by the way. Flood us with your phone calls if you wish, or leave the time to me. I'm perfectly happy either way. 445-4234. And the jobs creation units, and there are so many of them that have been started here in the Berkshires. I once listed all of them. There's 6, 7, 8 of them. And usually they end up creating 2 jobs, a con job and a snow job. Well, we have one on North Street called Berkshire Works, and it probably serves a good function. It's a crazy office to begin with because it's partly federal, partly state, but the mayor appoints the head of Berkshire Works. And it didn't work out so well. It did not work out so well. The current executive director is on leave, on administrative, what do they call it? Administrative leave. Thank you very much. How's that? All right. On administrative leave. And that just means, with pay, by the way. Don't you love that concept, with pay? administrative leave with pay. He did something. I mean, they don't just put a person off of a job for nothing. And there's some stories coming out of Berkshire Works that aren't so cool. The guy's name is William Monterosso. He came here and took over at Berkshire Works on January the 21st. Previously, he had been in the state of Kentucky, and he had a fairly important job in their employment, unemployment, jobs operation in Kentucky. I think it was the executive director statewide. All of a sudden, he leaves. Who knows why? He's also removed by the governor of that state from serving on a commission for the blind with some time remaining on his term, which is unusual with that kind of appointment. So it appears, and again, it's hard to get information, but it appears he left Kentucky in a hurry, ends up landing a job, I don't know if it's miraculously or not, in Pittsfield. Starts on January the 21st, and less than 3 months later, the office at Berkshire Works is in such an uproar over allegations of inappropriate behavior by Mr. Monterosso, and that's all they are. They're allegations, innocent until proven guilty. But apparently we're strong enough to force the mayor, reluctantly, to quietly remove him from the job. And this was all supposed to, I think, be hush-hush. We got word of it, broke the story, forced the boring broadsheet, which is the newspaper formerly known as the Berkshire Eagle, to pick up the story. We got in first with this proposed pay hike. We explained what this would mean for we the people. Not a good deal for you folks. Forced the Eagle to get in on the story. And back to the original point, that's the idea of the press. We're the fourth estate that watches for you, the people, watches government. 3 branches. First estate, executive. Second is the legislative. Third is the judicial. We're the fourth. And really, truth be told, we are the only media now in this area, with the exception of the Pittsfield Gazette, that is really calling for accountability in government. Let's take a phone call. Good morning. You are on the air with the Planet. Hi. Hello.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. I really have 3 points. I only had 2, but I added one when you talked about Berkshire Works.
Yeah, sure.
Number 1, I read your blog every day.
Thank you.
Although I may not agree with everything you say, I find it interesting to see your comments and to see the people's comments that come in on different subjects.
And have you noticed how that forum has really taken off?
Yes, sir.
We're getting a lot of new voices, and I'm glad you don't agree with everything I say, because if you did, I would probably be trying to brainwash you.
Well,
I'm not trying to do that.
Well, that's why we have freedom of speech, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The second thing is, as far as the mayor is concerned, I voted for the mayor when he ran against Jim Roberto, because I thought Jim Roberto was doing things, heading things in the wrong direction as far as all the money being spent on North Street, that other things that this city needed were not being addressed.
Yeah, and let me just make one point about Mayor Roberto. He was at the end of his 4th term, 8 years, just come off the loss of his wife, and really for that last 2 years wasn't the same man. And I pick up on what you're saying.
Well, I'm just saying that there were things even prior to his last term. Some things I didn't agree with. And the third thing I want to say is that I don't think people around here remember or how the origins of Berkshire Works began. A lot of it was started when GE was going out of Pittsfield, and they started the IUE GE Work Center down on East Street.
Yep.
It got moved to Merrill Road, then it got moved up to the Miller Building on North Street before it was involved with the state unemployment system. And those people that were ahead of it, one was the first guy was from the University of Massachusetts. The second one was an individual that worked there that really had no. The only thing he had was connections. That was the head of it.
Well, that's how those jobs are usually filled, by the way.
Right, and he was replaced by John Barrett because that person was because of nepotism. And then now I'm not a fan of John Barrett having a job in the city of Pittsfield. But thirdly, I have nothing. I don't know anything about Mr. Monterosso. But I was involved with that. I went there looking for a job.
How did they serve you? Did they serve you
well?
well?
It. Nope.
Really? What was your experience?
Well, I worked in General Electric for 25 and a half years and was laid off after the merger with Martin Marietta.
Right.
And trying to find a job or trying to, at that time, go up there and use the computers, the phones, to try to find a job. And the job counselors, in my opinion, half the time they weren't even there, or either the director was out front smoking cigarettes all the time.
Well,
that was my experience. But having said that, I still think that the mayor doesn't get it.
I agree with that.
If this pay raise deal is all part of his, and whether he gets it or not, because the city charter, that's why I was against the city charter for a mayor for 4 years. When a former mayor said, well, it saves us money, we don't have to, you're running every 2 years. Well, tough break, Charlie. You want the job, you go raise the money and do it. And if people don't like what you're doing, you're gone.
You know, since we covered the Monterosso situation at Berkshire Works, and again, these are allegations, and we will presume innocence here.
Right, I agree with you.
But there are certainly strong allegations and apparently an atmosphere of poisonous fear. That's how it was described to me by, you know, I can't really reveal who, but it's a person who's connected with the operation right now. And people who are trying to use the services of Berkshire Works are in the position you were in after GE and Martin Marietta. You're looking for work. You're trying to get help. You're trying to get back on your feet. And I'll tell you what, it's slim pickings out there right now in the economy, unless you want to be turning down hotel bedrooms or pouring butter on popcorn at the movie theater.
In 1995...
those jobs are there, but the meaningful jobs such as you had at GE are not there. I will also put that on the mayor. Not that Mayor Bianchi can single-handedly solve that problem, I grant. That's an intractable problem. But what has he done? And I'll tell you, in just a few minutes, we will be asking the mayor, because he is here in the studio, and we will be asking him. In fact, I'll let the mayor in on the first question. He's sitting right in a different part of the studio right now. And the question is going to be, we'll ask him, give you plenty of time to prepare, list your accomplishments in the 28.3 months you've been in charge in the corner office.
Be careful, he can talk about that for an hour and a half.
Well, he's not going to do it here. He's not going to do it here.
But that's my, I guess that's my beef. The pay raise part,
I'm glad you
if I remember correctly, when Roberto was mayor, and he put John Barrett in for the assistant department, public works.
Yep, and then that gig left, and Barrett ended up at Berkshire Works.
And that job was being paid the same amount of money as the DPW commissioner.
Well,
and that's what boggled my mind. Here you got a commissioner that for years, going all the way back to Jerry Doyle, was able to handle the job. Now all of a sudden you got to bring somebody in, and at that salary to do the same thing.
Okay, thanks very much.
All right, thank you very much, Dan.
You
Bye
bet.
now.
Appreciate the call. That's the classic call, the beef box. Joe Pine. Let's go to a phone call right now, and you're on with the Planet. Hi there.
Hi, Dan.
Good evening.
You know, I'm not really interested in hashing it out with you over the things you write, although, you know, I may like to, and I know others still have. I do have one important question. I read your blog, and I see that when you criticize a woman, you end up resorting to insulting her based upon her looks. I'm thinking of one specific instance the other day where you said that a woman's legs were past her prime and the skirt she was wearing was a couple inches too short for her less than prime legs.
That was the consultant who spoke before the city council Monday at Ordinance and Rules. Her name, as a matter of fact, I have it right here. Rachel Brown, I think you're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm just wondering, well, that's not...
Is that your point?
No, I'm relevant to what you're talking about.
Okay. Do you want me to respond to that?
Please.
Oh yeah, I'd be glad to. When I covered, and again, the PlanetValenti.com was first in on that story. We had a story out that very night, and I wanted to do something more than I knew the boring broadsheet would do, is just give you, and put you to sleep, just a yada, yada, yuckity yuck of, it's almost paint by the numbers. I wanted to create the atmosphere of that room. And I was sitting at the press table, and she was not impressive at all. I've been to a lot of public meetings, and I've seen consultants in action. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm a pretty good judge of horseflesh. And she was not impressive at all, and including the way she presented herself, and including the skirt she wore, which, when she sat down, you could not help but notice was a few inches too far above the knees. She wasn't 17, okay? And my thought, now maybe this is just me, you show up at a meeting like that dressed a little bit more professionally. And
sure. And I believe you said almost the same thing regarding Councilor Yan, am I correct?
Say again?
I believe you said the same thing regarding Councilor Yan, am I correct?
No, you're not correct. Not that I remember.
I think you should look back into your posts because I have seen you insult her many times.
I don't think so. You might be referring to, well, it wasn't Councilor Yan, I know that. I know that for a fact. It might have been someone else. But we grant the point and we thank you for the call.
Thanks so much.
You bet. And the point is to read, and the point is that when you blog every day, it's not easy filling an hour of TV, and it's not easy to come on every day with fresh content on a blog, and these stories go 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 words. That's the beauty of cyberspace. We're not limited physically by the page, but we aim to provoke discussion. That's the whole point of democracy, getting people activated. And if you call up to disagree or question things that I do, I love that. Now, she did it intelligently, and we'll have that discussion. We won't do it the way the first caller tried. We'll exchange information, but not ignorance. Let's go to the phones. I almost said good morning. Good evening. You're on with the Planet. Hi there.
Hi. Do you have any issues with the mayor's decisions about running the city?
Say again.
Do you have any issues about the mayor running the city? Do you have any problems about his decisions?
Running the city? Are you saying, do I have issues with the way the mayor is running the city?
Yeah.
Yes, many issues.
Why do you have to have a TV show to talk about it? Why can't you just talk to him face to face instead of having to stir the pot a little bit and having argument?
And swear to our audience that I didn't pay you to ask me that question, because that's the whole point.
Well,
I've tried to get him to talk to me, and I'll tell you what, we'll give you a little inside baseball, and we're going to be going to the mayor in just a minute or two, and maybe he'll respond to this. But
the mayor's
when
not
we
here.
we covered the methadone clinic coming into town,
excuse me,
he botched that case. Let me just finish the point. He botched the case, and we went with that story. The mayor had us in the previous day and gave us the city's point of view. The following day, we visited with councilors Claremont, Lothrop, and Kroll, and they were giving us their take on what happened when the case involving Spectrum Health Services, the methadone clinic, switched from the Roberto administration to the Bianchi administration. The mayor blew it. And he thought that I would, I'm guessing, because he never discussed it with me, but he thought I was going to naturally go with his side. I endorsed the guy for mayor. I still love the guy as a person. And we're talking about his performance as mayor. And let's be clear on that. Okay?
If he's coming out in a minute, well, then why is he in Boston?
Well, you're going to find out in a moment, as a matter of fact, because I think he's mastered the art of bilocation.
He's not there. He's out of town right now.
Well, he's going to be here in a moment.
No, he's not here. If you want to be honest
Keep
with the audience
watching.
And have a good
thank you very much. You say
don't
he's
make
not
us
here.
lie to him.
I'm
That's
telling
making
you.
sense to you.
I'm
If
telling you,
wanna
he's
talk to
here.
him, you can go to him face to face. You can go to him.
Okay,
It's
thank
up to
you. All right, we're going to let you go. Thanks. He is here. As a matter of fact, we'll put up the secret squadron here, and because I want to give them credit. These are the people that are beating the bushes here, and I'll keep talking, and I'm going to kind of go over where the mayor is waiting for us. And, you know, I'll just say keep the squadron up for a second. That in our coverage, we refer to him in nicknames satirically. Again, it's nothing personal. And one of the nicknames is the empty suit, because there's pretty much been nothing there as far as we've seen his results. And with all of that, we're going to cut now to Mayor Bianchi. And let's see. First of all, you want to get a shot of the mayor right now? And why don't you zoom in a little bit on him? So just get in a little closer. Pan up from the bottom to the top. Why don't you pan up, starting here? We need a little focus on that camera. But go all the way down to the shoes. Yeah, there they are. Got a nice shine there, spit shine. I didn't know he was a gyrene, Bill Sturgeon. Yeah, Semper Fi. And so Mayor Bianchi is here, and we thank you for being on the show. And I want to thank you for your, well, if not your presence, at least your fabric. Pretty darn good fabric, too. Armani, is it? What's that go for, about $1,800? Yeah? Things working out pretty good for you, huh? And get that extra global money coming in. Not bad. But anyways, thanks for being here. And as I said before, I wanted to ask you, why don't you go on me for a second? Cut to me. Yeah, I want to ask the mayor if he will list his accomplishments for us. And take all the time you have. You can cut into the mayor right now. Mayor Bianchi, how about it? Can you list your vast accomplishments for this city, maybe jobs, maybe you've filled a pothole or two? We'll wait. No, I'm serious. Anything at all. Really? Not even one? One stinking thing you've done for the city. I give you the show. I give you the rest of the show. Well, I guess not. I will say, though, that you've done a lot of proclamations. You've done a lot of ribbon cutting. As a matter of fact, we got this Bill Sturgeon handed me this Western Union telegram here, and it's from the National Association of Ribbon Manufacturers. And it reads, presented to the Honorable Daniel Bianchi for his tireless work and keeping the ribbon manufacturing companies of this country working overtime. The mayor has single-handedly achieved this based on the 18,458 ribbons he has cut since becoming mayor in January 2012. Now, that's certainly something, and maybe you can list that on the city website, where you actually do list the number of ribbons you've cut. You actually do list the number of fourth grade science fairs that you attend. And that's all good. I love fourth graders just as much as the mayor does. But where are the friggin' jobs? All right. Yeah. He doesn't have any answer to that. We got some phone calls coming in, but we're going to finish up with this segment with the mayor because, again, people said he wouldn't be on the show. Now, didn't they say that? We've had calls today, Bill. They said he wouldn't be here. He's right here. The empty suit, ladies and gentlemen. And we're giving him a chance to defend his record. Let me ask you this then. You recently presented you presented a gift to Melissa Mazzio at a recent city council meeting. I recall the inauguration, and you presented her with a bouquet of flowers. Lovely bouquet. It had a redolence of sweet petunias and sunshine picking up the dew in the grass. It was just a beautiful bouquet. I want to ask you, did that cost more than $50? Okay, just a question. And recently you presented, also Councilor Mazzio, City Council President, a bat, a baseball bat that had her campaign logo engraved on it. And you made a vastly funny comment on how she could use that bat to keep the city council in line. By golly. Interesting thing to say, since we had a report from Councilor Kroll who confirmed this when we did his show, that he was threatened by the husband of Councilor Mazzio. That's what Kroll said. I'm just saying. So the baseball bat's interesting. And also, I'm just wondering, how much did the bat cost? Did it cost maybe $100 or more? That's usually what you pay for those kinds of things. And I'm just asking because it's illegal to present gifts to public officials that are more than $50. So let's say $50 for the bouquet, $100 for the bat. That's $150. I'm not a math major. I don't play one on television, but I think 150 is more than 50. So I guess you want to skip over that. But and we won't ask you about the pay raises and all that stuff. We'll save that for the next show because you are going to be on the next show. But we do want to present you with as a gift of appreciation for being on our show. And I wondered if you could just someone get a close-up of this. This is the maybe on this camera. This is the Planet Valenti bat. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Genuine Louisville Slugger plastic. And this one will hit them out of the park, and I would like to present this to the mayor right now. How about that? Thank you for being on the show, Mr. Mayor. Now get him out of this set. Get off my set. Get a shot of this now on the floor. Get out of here. You come back when I call you to come back. You got that? All right, thank you. That's how you interview a politician, ladies and gentlemen. And we're expecting the mayor will honor us with his presence at some point in the flesh as opposed to just in the fabric. We've got a call. Let's take that right now at 445-4234. Good evening. You're on with the Planet. Hi there. We're being visited from another planet, or I'm having a religious experience. There's no third possibility. Here we go. Hi there.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, I read your blog frequently, and I do enjoy it.
Thank you. What did you think of the mayor's segment?
Yeah, it was all Clint Eastwood. It was just fine. But I do have a question.
Yeah.
In today's column, you talk about Barry Claremont, and you chastise him for not following Peter Arlos's advice to never chase criticism.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why it is that you chastise the mayor constantly for doing exactly that and never chasing criticism.
When I'm what? I'm sorry?
When you chastise Barry Claremont
yes,
for not following Peter Arlos's advice, but then you chastise the mayor for taking his advice seriously and not chasing after criticism.
Yes. You mean our first call? Are you referring to our first call?
Oh, no, I'm referring to your constant. You're on the mayor's back constantly for not chasing after criticism.
Okay. You're wrong. We're not after him for not chasing criticism. He's being criticized because he refused, after the Spectrum Health Services methadone clinic fiasco, where in a court of law, after they changed attorneys from the Roberto person, Rich Dehoney, to the city solicitor, the city got its pants whipped in court, okay? I wanted comment from the mayor on that, and it was at that point he stopped talking to me. And on numerous stories that involved him, I contacted the office, usually by email, because I like responses in writing, but I've also contacted him on Facebook and by phone, and he just simply won't do it. That's why the criticism comes. You've got the cart before the horse.
Well, just from my seat, and it's just before the computer, I see the criticism is nonstop. And, for that reason alone, if I was him, I wouldn't want to talk with you either. I wouldn't trust you for a second.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, you trusted us enough to give us a call, didn't you? Thank you.
Yeah.
We love you, man. Okay. 445-4234. We've got a call, I think.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. You're on the air with The Planet. Hi.
Hello, Dan.
Yeah.
I got to say, the show is bombing, dude. What's with the jacket?
What's with the jacket?
It's 70 degrees out, and you're inside.
Well, I'll tell you what's with the jacket. What are you wearing right now?
Shorts and a T-shirt.
What's with the shorts and T-shirt?
It's warm out.
Okay. It's not warm in the studio. We've got this air condition of minus 32.
Dan, you bombed
You
with
believe that? Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Get rid of this guy.
Buddy.
Yeah, all right. Cut him off. You want to have a discussion about the issues? Fine. You want to do TV yourself? You come out here. Start your own show. All right? Let's go to the phones here. Good evening. You're on with The Planet.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. You said Dan Bianchi was next stage, but he brought a fabric person out. You said he was defending his case. I'm just going to help you with some notes here.
Thank you.
If he's defending his case, then how come all your answers are wrong? Because if he's defending his case, that means his answers are completely right and yours are wrong. Because
gee, I guess you're right. I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong, and the mayor is totally correct tonight.
Show? First of all, why do you have a TV show if you're wrong? I'm trying to help you out. Why do you have a TV show if you're wrong? You're a grown adult. You're not supposed to be arguing with another person. You should respect the mayor and respect his decision.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a comment on the issues? On the issues, not on the personalities.
Oh, okay. Listen.
What about the pay hike?
This is about
Let me ask you.
First
No,
of
wait
all,
a minute.
You're
on. Do you support the pay hike? Do you support the pay hike? Do you support the pay hike?
Okay, this is not about me. It's about you.
It's about you because you're calling up, brother. You're calling this show. I is the host. You is the hostee. That's how it works. Okay, I guess you didn't want to talk about issues. Start your own television show. You can do that. That's the great thing about PCTV is you can do it. You can do it if you have the gumption. I was going to say, if you have a couple of these, these are going to be on loan to the mayor, by the way. Maybe he'll grow a pair of his own or somehow obtain a pair. But in the meantime, we will loan these in kindness, in the kindness of our hearts. Let's take a phone call. Good evening. You're on with Dan. Hi. Hi there. Hello. I guess not. I guess not. 445-4234. And while we're waiting for phone calls, I'm looking for a piece of paper. Yeah. Let me just talk about this pay hike for a second. Now, the mayor is seeking, and he's included himself, the city council at O&R voted to separate the mayor's request for a pay hike. He's making $87,000 a year. He's looking to receive a pay hike of up to, he's sitting down, He's sitting down. He wants to go as high as $119,887. Give me the $13, $120,000. Okay, he's making 87 now. It doesn't count what he's pulling in at Global Montello. That's an energy company, by the way. They provide natural gas, gasoline, oil, I think all kinds of energy. I was just wondering, for example, I'm saying all the mobile stations, let's say, in the area, or the Gulf stations. Is there a gasoline chain that buys its product from Global Montello? I just wonder, just a question. Would that be a conflict of some sort? But if you look at the pay hikes that he's proposing for these other positions, these are what they're making now. And we'll get to the phones in 1 second. DPW Commissioner, $83,919. Police Chief, $109,157. Library Director, $74,606. Director of Community Development, $73,672. Director of Finance and Administration, $73,828. Fire Chief, $87,654. City Solicitor, $66,420. We could go on and on with this list. That's what they're making now. And he wants to propose for this new pay scale pay raises that will go up depending on experience, et cetera, up to 40%. Tell me, taxpayer, your taxpayers are going up. Your taxes are going up this budget. Third time in a row under this mayor. And to be fair, it's happened under the auspices of previous mayors. But the point is, we're 3 years now in worse shape than we were when Jimmy Roberto left office. The city has no slack. And I'm not sure if taxpayers can afford another dime. Well, you're going to have to afford these pay hikes if they go through. Call your council and tell them that you don't want it. Let's take a phone call here. We've got about 8 minutes left. Good evening. You're on with Dan.
Yes, good evening.
Hi.
You were the last caller, I believe it was the last caller, I'm not sure since I've been on hold, that you were getting after that person about not dealing with the facts. Well, I'd like to deal with some of the facts.
Please.
You constantly seem to spin to turn your own way.
Yes.
You put it out there, for instance,
I should have been a lawyer.
The mayor is looking for a 40% pay increase. The mayor
That's correct.
is not looking for a 40% pay increase.
Yes, he is.
Should this program go through, the mayor will only get anything at all if he is reelected. And at that time, it will be a mere 5%.
Okay, let me respond to that.
Over a period of time.
Ma'am, can I respond to that?
Sure.
Will you let me respond to that? You're absolutely correct. However, why is there a retroactive portion to this pay hike that goes back to July 2013? Mayor Bianchi was the mayor on July 2013. If the pay hike goes through for the next mayor, he's going to get a retroactive pay hike as mayor for those 6 months, about $33,000. Second, he's the incumbent. Unless an incumbent tells me he's not running again, I'm assuming he's going to run again. And Mayor Bianchi, unless you know something I don't, has not said he will not run again. I'm assuming he's going to be in for the next election. Until I hear otherwise, I'm assuming, therefore, that this next pay hike is for himself.
But the main issue with doing this program at all is to put in place an effective management-based program for the city.
They could do that without...
Now, these people are, what you neglected to do when you were reading all of the pay scales for the people was to read the comparison scales in other cities and towns. And
well, I'm glad you asked.
That, there are very few that are anywhere near
anywhere
as low as the people who work here in Pittsfield.
Thank you for the call. You are incorrect, by the way, with that last statement.
Well, go through and read. Go through and read. Pick one of the lists. Pick one of the lists.
I have picked
the
the
person's
lists.
salary, and then go through. Tell the people what all the other towns, cities, and towns are listed at.
I have done that. Did you watch O&R on Monday night?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I was in the room.
Did you hear when Councilor Connell, Chris Connell from Ward 4 mentioned the other cities that he looked at? And when you factor in the cost of living of these 5 comparable communities, it's about 21% higher than Pittsfield. The housing costs in one of the towns, I want to say it was, well, I don't know which one of the 5, but it was 52% more. And right down that list, cost of living was far higher. Cost of housing was dramatically higher. The city managers and exempt employees, department heads who are going to qualify for this pay hike, on average, are making 88% of the other cities the consultant looked at. And I'll tell you, she cherry-picked the ones that would look good for the report, because she's doing her job as a consultant and telling the mayor what he wants to hear and not what taxpayers what they need to know. And even given her figures, it's 88%. When you factor in that it's half as cheap to live here and about anywhere from 20 to 30% cheaper for the cost of living, they're actually paid more. They didn't include those in the study. They set it up. It's fake. They didn't include, except as a footnote. This is 57 pages long. 57 pages long, and only at the bottom of one of the pages did they say that Pittsfield pays far more per year to its employees for health insurance. They didn't factor that in, apparently, because they want to make the numbers come out looking like there's poverty. Well, there's poverty, all right, but it's in the dreaded private sector. And these people aren't forced to work for the city. They can update the resumes and go looking for a job. We've got time for one more phone call, I think. Yes? No? Hello? Well, I guess not. I guess not, because we have about a minute left. And okay, this has got to be super quick. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Go ahead. We got about 50 seconds.
Okay, well, I need to be on for one quick second.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, hello?
We can't take it. There's no time. I'm sorry, ma'am. But we will come back next week. And initially we thought we would be missing every other Thursday in May. We will be back next week. Again, schedules permitting. This is all volunteer work, besides the vast amount of money I make for doing this show. And we'll be taking your phone calls again at that phone number, 445-4234. Check out The Planet. We'll be writing about this tomorrow at www.planetvalenti.com. Thank you for being with us, and you have yourselves a great evening. Thank you.